Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Challenge podcast. This is episode 12, a gameweek 9 review and a gameweek 10 preview. And I'm joined here today by my co-host Leighton. Hi.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, thanks. How's it going there?
All good. All good. Nice and late over here. Getting cooler. Nearly November, but still mosquitoes about though. So not happy about that. How are things in South Africa?
Currently very windy, but
Hmm.
besides
Did
that,
you eat something bad?
no, thankfully not. But besides that, we've in the middle of our, I want to say annual, but it happens more than once a year, our rolling blackouts that we have. So power goes out for 2 hours, like twice or 3 times a day at times. So it's kind of annoying.
Hopefully it doesn't happen during this stream.
It shouldn't. There's a schedule, and it
There's a
went off.
schedule for a blackout?
Yeah, they schedule it because they turn one suburb off and they turn one suburb on. So they kind of like ease the system. We went off
Okay,
at
that's fair
12, and then we're going off at 8 tonight again. So safe
All
for now.
right. Let's get this show on the road. Lots of
Yeah.
football to talk about.
Before the lights go out. Okay, in today's show, we're going to be looking at a review of the game week. We'll talk about the results as well. Of course, we'll look at some player stats and fixtures, along with our transfer plans and captaincy for the game week. It was a high-scoring game week, right? This week, crazy week, and
Super high scoring.
yeah. Tell us about your team. You got 95 points. You made one transfer, so go ahead and break down your team for us. Tell us who was in your team as well.
Yeah, well, the most important thing was I captained Salah, so that's pretty much half of my team's points right there.
It really
So
was,
captain Salah, 48 points. In midfield as well, I was so close to getting rid of Jota, and I decided not to in the end, and he got 11 points, so that was happy. Townsend, who knew Everton were going to get turned over the way they did? 2 points. Saka didn't do very well either, 2 points. Livramento in defense, he's doing so well for me, 9 points. I brought in a Chelsea defender. Go on, how do you say this? A
Aspilicueta.
Aspilicueta. You told me different before.
No, you just said it right. Aspilicueta.
You were like, no, yeah. So he didn't play, unfortunately. So Williams from Norwich came on, -1 point. Alexander-Trent got me 10 points, and Antonio, I watched this game as well, got me 7 points. Ronaldo 1 point, St. Maximin 2 points, and in goal, Sanchez got me 4 points.
Can't be upset with that result overall. I'm pretty sure going into Sunday, you probably weren't that happy because, yeah, Saturday was when Chelsea hammered Norwich and City destroyed Brighton, and you don't have any of them really. So
yeah, it was sad because I spent so long trying to work out which Chelsea player to bring into my team, and I thought there's one player who's consistently played 90 minutes. I think I'll go with him in the end, and I was really leaning towards a different Chelsea defender as well. I can't remember who it was, but
Rudiger?
Yeah, so that was annoying. Oh, no, it wasn't Rudiger. I had Rudiger before. Was it James?
I don't think so.
I can't remember, but so that was a shame because I went from Shaw to him, but Shaw got -1, so technically I gained.
Yeah, I would claim that as a win.
As a win, right? I only used one transfer, so it wasn't bad. I think the most important lesson I've learned is that I'm just going to captain Salah and just leave it there for the season.
Yeah, it's
There's
definitely
no point changing it.
Currently, it's at least until African Cup of Nations in, I think it's February. So until then, you have a perma captain. So
just
after that,
he's on captaincy.
But yeah, I mean,
how did you do?
I did pretty well. Just looking at your team overall again, unlucky with Aspilicueta, he ended up having a knock, which I think he'll be fine by next week. Good for you to get Livramento on. A lot of us had him on the bench, me included, and he's probably should be starting in our teams most weeks now. He's very consistent. And Ronaldo,
maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was on the bench in my team and he did so well. So I was so annoyed. I put him a couple of weeks ago. He's first on my bench and he came on. And then I've upgraded him into the team. So that's been fantastic. He's doing great. Ronaldo
Got you a goal. It was
Ronaldo
offside.
scored.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored. It was offside. It was marginally offside, which is a shame. It was because
No,
it was a good shot.
it was
It was
good.
marginal.
Yeah, and
It
it
was
was a good
marginal,
thing for
man.
everyone, right? Because we have Trent in defense who had the clean sheet, so
Yeah,
we couldn't
exactly.
afford
Yeah,
to.
so there's that now.
Yeah,
But I say it's marginal because Ronaldo is in my team.
true. I was so bleak
I
on that.
watched it and I was like, "What? Offside? Onside? It's exactly it's actually onside."
But yeah, my team managed to get 105, and unfortunately, I mean, going into the game week, the idea was there were concerns over Rafinha, and then
Hmm.
he ended up starting anyway, so I kept him. But then, of course, we heard about Lukaku on Wednesday last week, so I either had to keep him or get rid of him, and I ended up just losing him for the week because I thought that Vardy had good fixtures coming forward, had good form, and of course, then he injures himself in the warm up and plays half the game and comes off. So now I have that issue, and the rest of my team, I've gone. I went big at the back on the wild card, as you know, double City defense, and annoyingly they concede again. So I'm not too sure how much longer I'm going to keep double City defense. James with 13 points, Trent 10, differential in the wild card. Foden getting me 18 points. He was the difference maker this week for me. Salah captain, Mbermo and Rafinha with 1 point, Vardy with 1 point, and then Antonio scoring the winner against Spurs. Good for him to get points again. And Livermento on my bench with 9 points. So I can't complain. Happy.
I have a question for you. If Lukaku had been fit, would you have captained Lukaku?
I can't exactly deny it because I think last week and the week before I did say that if Lukaku was fit, my captain would probably be Lukaku. So I think we recorded last week Tuesday or Wednesday, and then he got injured on
Wednesday,
that
yeah.
Wednesday night. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there's evidence of me saying that I was going to captain Lukaku over Salah. And in hindsight, that I'm quite happy he got injured, just for my personal.
I wish that no one knew Lukaku was injured, right? And he played for 5-10 minutes, went off injured, got you 2 points, and my captain Salah, because I was never going to go to Lukaku. Oh, so it's a shame that he didn't play.
Small
It's a shame
variant.
about Rafinha getting injured too.
Yeah. So we'll
But
see
if
what.
Rafinha hadn't played and Livramento had come on from your bench, oh, you would have had too many points, my friend. 114 points in 1 week. No, I would just not come on this podcast
Would be
anymore.
very nice. I mean, you say that, but both of us we did very well in the rankings. I'm up from 680 to 307k overall, and you're up good 600,000 places too. So onwards and
It was a
upwards.
big jump. Exactly.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the game week overall, though. You mentioned earlier lots of goals this weekend, and there really were. My word.
So many.
Yeah. Uh,
So many.
Arsenal.
Although I did watch the West Ham Spurs game, and Spurs didn't register a single shot.
Yeah, they tried their
Can you
best to be
imagine?
the opposite of what the game week was.
90 minutes just to have a shot, just kick the ball. And he couldn't manage it. It was awful. I watched that game. I haven't watched football live in a few weeks. And I was watching it thinking, no wonder I don't watch football live anymore. This is atrocious. This is really terrible. And then I watched Liverpool, Manchester United, which was amazing.
The best. Right. Okay. But looking at Friday night's games, Arsenal and Aston Villa, pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Was pretty meh for me because I didn't have any attacking players, and I wanted the Ramsdale clean
Okay.
sheet. So to see them concede again is frustrating. You had Saka though; he was yellow flagged, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was yellow flag. He played a little. I think he came off at half time. Or did he get a yellow card? Hold on, let me check.
I can't remember. Didn't he get that?
I'm not sure, but
Didn't he get kicked by someone in that horrible
yeah,
foul?
I
Was
think
in the other game? I can't remember. Anyway, but I think he came
I'm
off.
not sure because I didn't watch it and I didn't see any of the highlights. But Aubameyang again. Aubameyang is doing well this season.
He is flying under the radar. I'm going to be considering him, to be honest, because again, if I have Vardy and the rest of my squad is fine, I might have to consider him for the next few weeks too.
It's cheaper than Vardy as well, right?
Yeah, about 1 million, more or less, maybe 0.5.
Yeah, so he's definitely a good shout. Not many people own him in the team, and it looks like Arteta really favors him up front. Can't imagine him coming out of their teams. And they beat Leeds last night. So, yeah, I think Arsenal going forward are quite a good shout.
I read a stat earlier. I think that they're 8 games unbeaten now. I think I may have gotten that wrong, but something like that. 10 goals scored, 2
You're
conceded.
possibly correct because they lost the first 3 games and then they seem to win and draw.
Yeah,
So possibly.
they're putting a nice run together, which is good for them. And yeah, Saturday's fixtures: Chelsea, Norwich, Chelsea in seventh heaven, me in seventh heaven too. Great times. I can't say anything.
Not if you're a Norwich fan.
No, let's be honest. For me personally, that was just the best result overall because I love Chelsea
Because of
and
your love for Chelsea, your hatred for Norwich. I know where you're going with this. Those poor little Canaries, what have they done to anger you, man?
they're so bad.
They are. They shouldn't be allowed to be promoted for a few years. It should be written into the football rules.
I think they're currently in their best run of fixtures, and they've still been the utterly worst team in the league. I don't
But
see
they
how
got
they're
2
going to get
points so
points.
far.
Yeah.
Do you think they possibly could equal the worst or have a worse record than Derby? Derby is the worst record with 12 points. Do you reckon it could be beaten?
I think so.
Yeah?
I don't want to say I hope so, but I kind of
You
do.
hope so, right?
Yeah.
Single digits for the year. Oh, that'd be painful.
I was thinking about it though while watching this game and the United game. And do you think it would be fair for there to be a rule in the Premier League where if a team loses by double digits, then that team is automatically relegated?
No, it's not fair, is it?
How is that not fair?
Because a Premier
It's
League
never happened
season
before.
is, I know, but it's 36 games, right? In the year. If the opening game you lose 10-0 and you're like, okay, you're relegated. It's crazy, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just from an
I hope
entertainment
you never work for
perspective.
FIFA. Yeah, from an entertainment point of view. But do you know that idea of an entertainment point of view brings in playoff games in the championship where you see the third, fourth, fifth, sixth teams all go into a playoff. The third team deserves to go up, and it follows kind of basketball's lead in
Yeah.
the USA. When the winner of the league doesn't win, they then go into this weird championship to see who wins. No, you won the league. You're the winners. So yeah, in my eyes, I hope they never do that. Haha, Norwich lost 10-0.
Bye. Or okay, maybe first ball grace. So you get like one chance if you're a promoted team.
It should be a yellow card.
Yeah, or a points deduction.
Or they could do what rugby has recently done in their leagues, where you get a bonus point if you get more than a certain amount of goals. If
I
you
like
lose
that.
by a certain amount of goals, then you lose 1 point, right? So you lost more than 5-0. Sorry, minus 1 point. Because that would inspire teams to maybe attack more or the worst teams to defend more.
Yeah,
But then
like
again, maybe these players just don't care, man.
I mean, you can't deny that okay, we'll get to it, but we all enjoyed watching Liverpool pump United, and we enjoyed seeing
Oh,
seven
it was.
goals at Norwich. It beats,
I was hoping Liverpool would go score more. It was
yeah.
so fun to watch.
So I mean,
But I think the problem you have as well is Norwich, these players, they're probably getting paid a good amount of money, probably on £20,000 a week. And I'm talking about the lowest paid in the league, right?
yeah.
It's still an insane amount of money. So they lose, they go home, and they're like, well, I've got a Lamborghini. Who cares? So do they have that passion to fight for the Canaries? Possibly not.
Are you considering any of the other Chelsea players now that you've bought Aspilicueta? Unluckily, you were burnt.
Yeah,
What about the
yeah.
attacking players?
Uh, it's difficult to look at Chelsea as an attacking team because
Yeah,
Lukaku's out at the moment and he's nailed on in a team, and
and
I don't know who's nailed on in who.
Werner is injured too.
Oh yeah, exactly. And Werner's injured as well, and so it's very difficult to look at that Chelsea team and know who's going to be starting.
I agree.
It's the beginning of the season. He's rotating quite a lot. It's working well for Chelsea. They're doing great, and I don't know what Chelsea player to go for in the slightest.
I think our wing backs are still our most attacking outlet. So
Yeah, James
for those
is one of the players.
for people who have Rudiger, I wouldn't be buying Rudiger now, even though I had him and you had him as well. But
I had him.
I would much rather have the like Alonso and James, or Chilwell and James
Yeah,
double up at the moment because they're attacking so much.
I've only had two Chelsea players in my team, and both times it hasn't worked out well for me. So I'm a little bit scared of Chelsea players. I bring in a Chelsea player, they don't play.
That's kind of funny.
I'm going to keep my Chelsea defender in my team right now. If he doesn't play, then Livramento can come on from the bench or something similar along those lines. So I think I'll just keep him for
Yeah,
now.
it's for the best. I would
Yeah.
too. Anyway, looking at Crystal Palace and Newcastle, I honestly didn't watch much of this game. Meh. Good for Palace to get another point, I guess.
Yeah, they're ticking along. I think we predicted a boring 1-1 type game, right?
I think we did, and I just realized I did watch some of this, and it interested me because Benteke scored again, and
Mm.
they're getting him more involved physically in the box, lobbing the balls into him. So he might be an option they have good fixtures coming up. He's cheapish. I can't remember. I think he's maybe 6 to 6.5 million, more or less. So he's an option for those who don't want to get Tony
Mm.
or someone else.
Man, the Benteke of Aston Villa years was amazing.
Agreed.
Oh, what a player. He was so good. But yeah, I didn't watch Crystal Palace Newcastle. That was the first game without Steve Bruce. So
Yes,
at least they picked up a point.
that's good for them. Everton and Watford, the game of the unexpected results of the weekend, right? Probably the most unexpected.
Yeah, it
Crazy
was crazy. You texted me, you said, go look at the times of the goals.
news.
And I thought, what? And then it's what happened? Poor Everton, just balls flying past them.
It was weird because they did well. They took the lead. They brought on Richarlison in the second half, and he just scored. I think they were 2-1 up, and then they took
Mm-hmm.
off Gray. And I don't know if they went more defensive or if they changed systems, but yeah, Watford just clicked and scored 4 times. And
Just they went crazy.
yeah, Josh King with a hat trick.
Yeah, no one would expect that. So if someone had King in their team, I'm absolutely shocked.
Thankfully, it doesn't affect our fantasy team because like nobody had Saw, and Saw didn't do much in the game anyway, and nobody is King.
Right.
From the Everton
Right.
standpoint, Richarlison scored, and I don't think it was Townsend, right? You have Townsend.
No, it wasn't Townsend. Everton, I think Everton is suffering. They've got quite a few setbacks, quite a few injuries.
Yeah, they do. With Richarlison back, I think they might improve slightly, but I'd be worried. I'm happy I don't own them, put it that way. Tom Davies scored the other goal. That's who it was.
Right.
Yeah. Leeds versus Wolves. Leeds with a lucky goal at the end with a penalty from Rodrigo. That would have been Rafinha if he didn't go off injured again. And yeah, Wang Hee Chan scoring again. I think it's his fourth goal or fifth goal. No, I think it's his fourth goal from 8 shots.
Yeah, maybe it's his fourth goal. Yeah, he's got to be starting all the games for Wolves now, doesn't he?
I would surely.
Has to. He's outscored Son.
Yeah. best Korean player in the league, and he's
I'm
still.
looking forward to the day where I walk into my school and all the kids are wearing Wolverhampton Wanderers t-shirts instead of Tottenham Hotspur. Because yesterday I went into my class and one of the boys is a Tottenham Hotspur, and I'm like, haha, 1-0. And I could see he just wanted to rip it off. It's like, this team suck.
Maybe when Wolves beat Spurs the next time they play them.
And Hwang scores a hat trick.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, that's the day.
He's definitely an option though, surely.
Oh, he's so cheap as well.
Yeah, at 5 point something,
I'm considering going from Ronaldo to Hwang.
gives you 7 million in the bank to use on anything else.
Oh, yeah. I'm really living it. I could buy a Lamborghini for my team.
Yeah. Speaking of other cheap options, Southampton and Burnley, 2-2 draw, entertaining game.
Yeah.
Southampton's second striker, Broha, on loan from Chelsea, scoring for the second game in a row. Another cheap option. He's 5 million, 2 goals in 2 games, and he's playing so well for them. And he came off with an ankle knock, but worth keeping tabs on. If I would choose between him and Wang at the moment, I would probably go with him, to be honest, because he's 5 million, and
Yeah, he's so cheap.
I need the money. And I have Adam Armstrong on my bench, who was in the team, and Broha took his place, so I can still take advantage of their fixtures then. And of course, we didn't mention Livramento scoring for Southampton.
It's perfect.
Good fixtures.
He's excellent. If he's not in your team, then probably you should think about getting him in. Or if he's continuously on your bench, it's time for an upgrade.
Yeah, he's very much like over the last few seasons of like Lundstrom from Sheffield 2 years ago, last year's Dallas for Leeds, in that same mold where we bought them as bench players initially, and now they just kept on performing and performing. So kind of have to play them now.
Yeah, he was my bench player. It's just lucky he came on for my team for a few times.
Not sure if you saw this though, but another player to look out for, Burnley's goal scorer was Cornet. They signed a left back in the summer, an attacking left back, which you'd be surprised by Daesh doing that. And he's scored 3 goals now in his last few games. And I think in FPL he's a midfielder, but he's only 6 million, I think, around there. So
cheap as chips.
Yeah, again, they have very good fixtures. So if you want to be slightly different, Rafinha's injured. Why not get him if you don't want to get him Pomo? So worth looking at.
Man, I've survived this Rafinha because I didn't have Rafinha in my team. I was so worried. Like, there's going to be a point where he gets 2 goals or 3 goals, and so it's been pretty lucky.
Yeah, definitely. And then the main event of Saturday, we had Man City against Brighton. Man City, I mean, the score makes it look like it was a bit of a rout, but it was pretty competitive overall. Man City just a different level.
I didn't see this game, but I also heard the same thing. It looks like the score really doesn't reflect the game.
Yeah, I mean, Foden got himself a brace, and then again, I mentioned it earlier, but all I really wanted from this game was a Foden return and then a double clean sheet from Cancelo and Diaz, and just couldn't get that.
You didn't get it.
So,
man, if you got a clean sheet from Cancelo and Diaz, and you've got you're just greedy, man. What's wrong with 105 points?
Yeah, it's just a case of what could have been, right? Because they that close.
But yeah, I feel like I was so close to 100 points. I'm like, oh, I could have, just nearly. If only I had Foden in my team.
Or if Azpilicueta had just started against Norwich.
Exactly. All he had to do was be there.
Yeah.
Just stand there. You don't have to do anything. Would have got me a clean sheet.
We didn't mention it, but out of all the players that Chelsea had, I think 10 of them returned in a starting 11. And the only one who didn't was Kai Havertz, who everyone brought in and captain.
Yeah, everyone was going on about Havertz, and I was panicking. Like, do I need this Chelsea player in my team? And I saw he did nothing. So
yeah, I mean, I mentioned him to you as well, mainly just because everyone else was, but I wouldn't have bought him myself. because I've had bad
If
experiences.
you're friends with Challen, don't ask him for fantasy football advice the day before. He just sends you smiley faces saying, "It's your choice." It's psychological warfare.
I give you honest advice, and you interpret it as being ambiguous.
Really, I say, "What does this look like?" He says, "Yeah, if you like it." And I'm like, "No, I want to know your opinion." And you say, "Yeah, sure, it's fine." Who
No,
knows?
I usually ask you a question like, "Are you sure?" Or do you prefer
And that's it.
Aspilicueta
No, no,
over
no. This is
Cancelo?
what he does. This is what he does. He'll say, "Yeah, this is good. Are you sure you like it?" And I'm like, "Wait, should I not be sure?"
But I point out exactly where. Like I mentioned Aspilicueta, Cancelo, because you were mentioning Cancelo
Yeah.
and Diaz the entire week, and then you decided
But it doesn't
Aspilicueta.
matter, does it? They got like 1 point for you. Good for them.
Yeah, I guess. See, it didn't make any difference. So safe. It's
Wow.
not
I
like I
would have
told you
got
to keep
90.
sure.
I could have got 96 points. Thanks, man.
Sunday's games: Leicester versus Brentford. Leicester looking very good again. Good away win against a
Again.
good defensive Brentford side. And okay, no Vardy goal, but they're showing they can win games without him. Are you tempted?
They need to show they can win games without Vardy because he's getting a bit older now. They're going to have to start having a different strategy to score goals.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tielemans scored that
I'm
sexy goal.
Yeah, really good goal. I am tempted by Leicester, but they did fantastic against Manchester United. They've just had a good result against Brentford. So it does look like they've turned it around, but I'm a little worried by the beginning of the season. And with Vardy out now, I'm not sure where I would go with Leicester either.
As long as you don't buy Bonds, you're okay.
Oh, but he's my favorite Leicester player. Haven't you heard?
Yeah, they've been doing very well since they've brought other players into the team. Madison, Iheanacho recently, and
Yeah.
Daka as well. So good for them.
Daka, yeah. Daka would be a good one.
Brentford, okay, they're big players. Mboma and Tony not involved in the goal, but they were influential again. Tony was close a couple of times. The one thing I'm worried about though is I'm worried that it's going to be a weekly thing where we keep saying, "Oh, Tony was this close to scoring," or "He hit the post," and Bomo hit the post again. It's going to be. It feels like it might be the same like it was for me with Lukaku, where I've had him for like 5 weeks, and every week I say, "Oh, he scored an offside goal," or "He scored
Yeah.
some other goal," and yet he doesn't get points every week. So
It happened with Wolves. I brought in Wolves players every week. You know, they had amazing XP. It looked like, oh, they're so close. They're hitting the post. They're doing this. And then Buemo, everybody was bringing him in this week. And I was so close as well to taking a hit and bringing him in because I thought, oh, God, what if he does finally get it in the net? And I survived that one, man.
you did. And another one you just survived was you mentioned potentially taking Antonio out of your team, and he scored the winner against
Yeah.
Spurs as well.
Man,
Must be happy he didn't.
I was watching that game because for some reason in Korea there's this really random TV channel and they have the rights to Tottenham Hotspur because Son Heung-min is in the team. And man, I celebrated so much when Antonio scored. The best thing, and it's really interesting as a fantasy football player because you start to become a fan of different teams due to the players
Yeah,
and watching these teams with a different investment than when I was growing up. But when he scored, the best thing was the defending from Kane because Kane was on him, and the ball flew past. And by the time the ball was in the net, you see Kane was like, "Huh? Did they take the corner? What happened?" And it was a heck of a goal. The reaction to smash that ball was really good.
yeah. Very
It was a
happy.
boring game though. My God.
Perfect game for West Ham. Very much David
Perfect.
Moyes'
But the
game.
stadium, being in that stadium, you're so far away from the pitch. It's such a bad stadium for football.
It is.
They should rip out the seats one summer and redo it, because it wasn't built as a football stadium, and it just doesn't look. Yeah, it was the Olympic Stadium, right? And yeah, it just sucks. Sorry, I keep kicking the table.
I think at least now we're a bit put off on getting Kane at least, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I saw some stat that Kane had scored a ridiculous amount of goals this season because of this like Europa League. What is it, the Conference League or something?
Yeah.
But he's not doing it in the Premier League, and he doesn't look at the races in the Premier League. He just looked lost at times. There was one moment, I can't remember who was through. There was 3 Spurs players. There was Son Heung-min and Kane. Son's on the left and Kane's on the right. And the player passed to Kane. He should have passed to Son on the left. I was convinced Son would score, and Kane got tackled. I was shocked. I was like, give it a Son Heung-min. Don't give it a Kane.
I think they'll improve soon. But hopefully,
I mean, definitely they will improve.
Yeah.
Spurs are having a difficult time under the new coach, and the West Ham deserved to win that game.
They did.
It definitely was West Ham's game to win.
Another manager under fire, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. 5-0 Liverpool.
And I'm shocked
at Old Trafford.
I'm not shocked about the 5-0. I'm shocked he hasn't been sacked.
It is.
It's insane. It's really ridiculous that he was awful at Cardiff. He was terrible. And he's at Manchester United. He's won nothing with Manchester United, whereas even Moyes won a trophy. Mourinho won the Europa League. And he now is, when you look at that Manchester United team on paper, you think, wow, they have some amazing players. But it's ridiculous. There was no game plan. I don't know what he told them before the game. It was a shambles.
It was literally the same as watching the midweek game against Atalanta, because I think was it Paul Scholes probably? I think he said post match during the week, where he said that if United play like this against Liverpool on the weekend, if they concede first in the setup that they had for that game, then it could end up being a battering, because they played a pretty attacking 11, and then what happened against Atalanta? They got dominated in the first half. They go 2-0 down. Sure, they turn around the second half, somehow win it. Fair enough, good for them. But surely you would realize, if you're playing an Italian team in the Champions League and it didn't work against them, it's not going to work against arguably the best attacking team in England, if not Europe. But no changes whatsoever to their Liverpool game. Go out and do it again. And yeah, they got
it was abysmal. And it sounds like Alex Ferguson is the reason Ollie is still in the job. But this man recommended Moyes. He recommended Mourinho. It doesn't. Yes, he was an amazing coach, but it doesn't sound like he's getting many post-managerial decisions spot on.
Yeah.
There's too much sentiment at Manchester United. When I hear Manchester United fans speaking, they're like, oh, he's a Manchester United player. He's Manchester United through and through. But Frank Lampard, Chelsea got rid of him. They got in a real coach, and look at them. Would you still prefer Frank Lampard, or do you want success?
Success, obviously. That's just the way I was raised in being a Chelsea fan.
As a Chelsea fan,
I have no choice.
You're like, we don't have any sentiments in Chelsea Football Club.
I've had numerous times of the years where I've been very disappointed in our structure and how we handle managers, but I know that there's a reason for it, and it's because we're trying to win. That's the main thing. And we've done very well at that, so screw sentiment at this stage.
Yeah, screw sentiment, man. You don't need it in this game. Football is a business, right? It's not. There's nothing more.
Definitely. On the other end of the spectrum, Liverpool with 5 goals.
I keep throwing this cat over here. What's this? It's like a toy.
And she'll come back. Thinks it's a game. Yep, there we go. Coming back.
If you're listening to this, there is a cat that is just constantly jumping on me.
Yeah, it is Leighton's cat, by the way. It's not just some random cat. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
she's there. And yeah, Liverpool 5-0, Mo Salah hat trick. Surely.
Oh,
Perma captain
perfect.
for the next while.
Oh, absolutely. I saw lots of people debating about this and like, oh, should we captain him? They're playing Brighton, right? They're playing Brighton next.
This coming week, yes.
Yeah, and man, he's captain for me. He's scored in the last 10 games now, consecutive games.
Yeah, something like that.
It's ridiculous, and for him to get a hat trick against Manchester United, oh, he's amazing. He is the king, man. He's the GOAT.
Yeah, Jota getting the goal again as well. Good for him. And
Yeah, that was good.
it's a bit weird though for you, right? You're not sure whether you should keep him or hold him or sell him or it's,
Yeah, Liverpool's a difficult one now because you can see Klopp. He has good players and he's able to rotate a little bit. For him to start against Manchester United without Mane in the team, that was surprising. So, as long as he gets some minutes in these teams, it's possibly okay. I don't think I'm going to make any rash decision and get him
yeah.
out my team at
I
the
think you'd
moment.
pretty guarantee that he's gonna get at least, I would say, 20 to 30 minutes in any game. It's not like
Yeah,
he ever
and
sits
it's
out
Liverpool.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah, so the chances of him going to get assist are reasonably okay.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to some stats, just some quick stats. Defenders over the last 4 game weeks. Bit of an update XGI wise. We've got the Brentford defender at the top, Jansen,
Mm-hmm.
1.6. Aspilicueta, your favorite man, right up there too. Richie, once again, there again for his delivery of the strikers. Matt Target, Pinnock from Brentford, and Trent as well. Bottom of that list, we have Brighton's Cucurella, Reguilon from Spurs, who was mainly there because he's feeding Harry Kane those balls into the box that Kane doesn't score from at the moment, but he could do very soon. So attacking wise, these are pretty decent options, I would say. Cancelo's still there. Who else? Shaw's there too. Who is here that we don't have, or who do we have that isn't here? Is what I'm trying to say.
Who do we have that isn't here?
Yeah, like in your own team, like for
Livramento.
Livermenta, that's a good one. Yeah, he hasn't been.
Livramento is not there.
Yeah, his XGI isn't great, but is performing overall, which is good. For
Yeah,
me, Diaz, James isn't here because he missed a couple of games, so
yeah.
he will be here soon. Same with Chilwell. Chilwell's in the middle there. But besides that, a few. I can't remember your team.
You don't have Alonso, right?
I don't have Alonso, no.
Oh, okay, yeah. We both don't have Alonso.
Yeah, I'd rather have Chilwell.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else. Yeah.
But Chilwell scoring his third goal in 3 games, you can't leave him out at this stage. Third league goal as well. He scored one for England too, so it's 4 in a row. I'd play him. If I was buying a defender, I would buy him this week.
Why you didn't tell me that last week when I asked you which Chelsea defender should I buy?
Because you didn't ask that. You asked me, is Aspilicueta a good option?
And you could have said, I think Chilwell would be better.
No.
Yeah, if I was to bring in a defender, Chilwell is definitely up there.
Yeah. Midfield stats. Again, we don't even have to mention who's number one. Salah right on top.
Who's number one? Salah? Really?
Smashing every metric there is. Sar's right up there
He's
too.
12.9?
Apparently, I haven't checked.
No, isn't he 12.7?
I think I got this from the FFS Scout
Let me
sites.
check.
It should be.
Can't be 12.9.
I think it is 12.9. He went up the other day again.
No, he's 12. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's 12.9.
Yeah,
I can sell him for 12.7. Man, if you don't have him in your team,
you have to get him.
No, you can't. He's too expensive, man. 12.9.
People can sell Ronaldo and get him. But yeah, the rest of the midfielders saw. Yes, he was doing well previously in a different manager, but with Ranieri there, he hasn't been playing in the same position, so I wouldn't be interested in him. Son still doing very well. very keen on him. Jota, not anymore, not for me at least. And Mount, are you interested by him? You mentioned you're not keen on the other attackers, but what about Mount? 7 point.
7.5. For me to, let me just check my team. For me to go to Mount,
You'd have to take out either
I'd have to.
Jota,
Oh, Saka. I can take out
Saka.
Saka. I can get to him from Saka, Jota. If I take out Ronaldo to any other striker, I can get anybody I like
True.
because Ronaldo's so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, my team value now is 100.8, but the problem is that I'm never going to sell Salah until January, maybe.
Yeah. I won't consider getting Mount yet because, yeah, he's doing well at the moment, but I would rather have someone who I could expect more from, I think, at the moment. And I mean, Mbomo's there, Foden's there, doing very well. My top midfield pick, again, if I were to tell someone to buy someone, it would be Foden, 8.1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Foden. He's really amazing.
You can play anywhere in the front three for them. And
yeah,
with Torres being injured, I think he's pretty nailed for a position there. And the rest
he's a good price.
He is, yeah. 8.1 is a very flattering price. And
reasonable.
If you buy him now, you can keep him. You don't mind if he doesn't play occasionally. It's okay. And Saka is there too. Are you? I know you were okay with having him initially.
Yeah.
What about now?
Yeah. Saka's the one player who's close to the top of the ones I potentially will get rid of. He's been quite good, but I feel there's a lot of players in his price bracket around, and with that extra money in the bank, I could upgrade him.
Definitely. I've just thought of an idea of moves for you, but I'll first wait and keep them for a bit later when I hear what your plans are. Looking at the forwards,
I have no plans.
Looking at the forwards, last 4 game weeks, top of the pile is Antonio once again. He gets 1 goal and he's right up top there. Josh King, after his hat trick, surprise, surprise. Vardy is there too, despite his last blank. Tony's still doing well statistically. Ronaldo's fallen quite a bit down. No goals in his last few games. And Benteke is also rising. Look, the Benteke is 6.3 at the moment. I think he may have gone up, so he might be 6.4. But yeah, cheap. And Aubameyang as well, 10 million. All very good options. So there are options around for those who kept Lukaku or have Ronaldo and they want to sell them for cheaper players. Especially like Wang and Broha as well. So
Wang.
I think it's a good idea to start fiddling around with the team and see what works, especially planning fixtures going forward and transfers.
Yeah, I think many people are probably going to start getting rid of Ronaldo, probably because of the Man City fixture. But Tottenham, that's another fixture. I just think Ronaldo could score some goals.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the fixture ticker, top of the fixture ticker at the moment is Norwich. They have the best fixtures going forward the next 5 games. And I don't think
it means nothing.
It means nothing, yeah. They're not going to win any of them, probably.
Just get a black marker pen and scratch that one out.
Yeah. Brentford.
Because it's the hardest fixture list. It's Norwich. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Brentford, they're second. They have, again, good team so far, but as mentioned earlier, their goalkeeper's out for 5 months. So worth noting just to see how they do with a different goalkeeper. Spurs and Leeds, still good fixtures, but can they play well? Can they recover from injury in Leeds' case? And Burnley.
I think the problem is when you're looking at teams, Brentford, Burnley, Norwich, and they have good fixtures. Brentford, Burnley, feel like it'll be a draw. Norwich, Brentford, feel like Brentford will beat Norwich. Everyone will beat Norwich. Even Newcastle are up there with their good fixtures. It just doesn't feel like good fixtures for these teams. Leeds are doing so badly.
Yeah.
Tottenham are doing so badly. It just doesn't feel... The team in these top fixtures I'm looking at is Southampton.
I agree. Yeah, I like Southampton's fixtures, and that's I mean, on the wild card, that was the whole point. That's why I bought Armstrong in attack. Like I wanted to play him, but I just chose the wrong striker in the end, which yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
But and I think that's the reason why we're looking to jump on Tottenham in a couple of weeks because they are usually a tried and tested side against the smaller teams. We know we can trust them to smash them. Hell, we know we can
For
trust them
week,
to beat big teams
mm,
as well.
but for week 10 and 11, I would avoid Tottenham. Manchester United surely have to have something about them. They're going to want to play for Ollie or play for their own pride. So I wouldn't go for that. Everton, I feel Everton they're not going to have a Watford slip up again. So once it's Leeds, Burnley, Brentford, and Norwich, then sure. But
True
before
though, but
that,
I mean,
Tottenham.
yeah, okay, but with this information that we have, we know Spurs are going to do well. We expect people to buy Spurs in a few weeks for that exact reason you just mentioned. So wouldn't you
Yeah.
instead buy Son 2 weeks early for 2 weeks cheaper? Because he's definitely going to go up in price, right? So then by the
I
time
don't
he
know if
gets there,
he definitely will. The week of Leeds, I'm pretty sure
yeah,
he'll go up in
he'll get at
price.
least one
But
price rise.
I don't know. Son has a good knack for scoring against Manchester United, but the difference was that Mourinho was the coach. That Pochettino was the coach.
Yeah,
It's Nuno now.
true. I'd be tempted. We'll talk about that shortly. And Man City, I think you can play them against anyone at this stage.
Yeah,
They're
anyone.
they're
Manchester's. Mm,
they're playing
yeah,
Crystal
those
Palace,
fixtures for
United,
Man
Everton.
City should be top.
Yeah,
Crystal Palace, United, Everton, West Ham, Aston Villa, Watford. That should be top, right?
mentioned earlier about Crystal Palace and Benteke. If you look at them, they have Man City next. Then they have Wolves, Burnley, Villa, Leeds. It's a decent run for
Mm.
a big striker.
Yeah, it's a really decent run after City. 4 games, some Crystal Palace players would be pretty good. It's how long is Saha out for?
I'm not sure. I think he was on the bench for this last game week. They just
Or
proper
was he?
benched him.
Because if
Yeah,
he comes back, he's definitely worth a punt.
worth looking at least.
Mm.
And
Where's Arsenal? Can't even
Arsenal are
find him in this
fifth from
list.
bottom.
Oh, they're right at the bottom.
Yeah,
Leicester, Watford, Liverpool, Newcastle United, Everton.
we've got a tough next 6 games, I think.
Yeah,
Tough-ish.
Watford and Newcastle are quite nice.
Yeah, just for those two. I'd
Just
be,
those two.
I mean, like I have Vardy now, so depending on what happens with his injury, I might keep him. They're in the middle. They have Arsenal, Leeds, Chelsea, Watford, Southampton, Villa. So
Some difficult games, though.
a few, but I'd expect Vardy to return in. He scores against big teams. I'd say in 4 of those
Yeah,
6 games, I'd maybe expect to return.
I guess it's just Arsenal and Chelsea and those that I'd be worried about.
Yeah. Speaking of
It's
fixtures,
Chelsea that have the best fixtures. But yeah, let's do predictions, man.
yeah. Speaking of fixtures and predictions, let's go.
Yeah,
Leicester Arsenal this weekend. We don't know about Leicester's Vardy's injury.
yeah.
Ben White is injured too, so that affects Arsenal. So, what are you predicting there?
This is really difficult because Leicester are coming into good form. Arsenal are coming into good form. Aubameyang's doing great. If Vardy's not there, who's going to score the goals? Got Tielemans. It's at Leicester. I'm going to back Leicester to win this one. I'm going to give them a 1-0 win.
I'm gonna go for a draw, yeah, because I'm not sure who to, not sure who to go with. Uh, I'm not sure what score. I think Vardy will score. I think he's going to be fit and he'll play, so he'll score. Uh, and I think Aubameyang's form will get him a goal too. So yeah,
It's a 1-1.
you guessed it.
Always 1-1 with Challen.
Burnley, Brentford. Burnley at home to Brentford. Brentford have been good defensively. I think with the goalkeeper out, Raya, I'm going to lean towards a Burnley win. 2-1.
Burnley are very good against draws this season. With the news that Brentford keepers out, I'll also go Burnley. I'm going to go Burnley 1-0.
Liverpool Brighton.
Liverpool Brighton. Oh, it's at Anfield. They're going to be up for it. 3-0.
Okay. Salah captain.
Of course.
Of course.
Not a question.
Definitely.
If he's not my captain, I was hacked.
True. I hacked your team.
Or I had a mental breakdown before. Something happened.
I agree. I think Liverpool will win this. I'm going to go 2-0. Don't know why. Just, 2-0. Newcastle.
Safe.
Chelsea. No, sorry.
Newcastle?
I left out Man City. Palace. Man City, same thing. I expect Man City to win. I don't know which 11's going to play. There will be rotation. 2-0 Man City.
2-0 Man City. I think Crystal Palace are doing quite well. I think Man City are not defensively sound at the moment. So I'll give Crystal Palace a goal. So 3-1 Man City.
Just to annoy me once again with my double defense.
Oh, and Diaz gets the yellow card.
That would suck. Newcastle,
and
Chelsea.
Cancelo gets a red. Oh, Chelsea are in amazing form. Newcastle, do they have a coach lined up? What's going to happen? I don't know. Chelsea have players out, but their team is so strong. 2-0 Chelsea.
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea.
St. Maximum goal. Yes, please.
I'm going to say Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson penalty.
Oh, stop saying Wilson.
Sorry.
Hurts me.
And Watford versus Southampton. Do you think Watford are going to smash Southampton 5-0?
Absolutely not. Now, this has a 1-1 written all over it.
It does. It'll be low scoring, I think. But, yeah, a draw. I'm not going to say 0-0, but 1-1. Seems fair.
Yeah, 1-1.
Spurs United, main event of Saturday. What do you think?
Why I always go first?
Because I say the fixture first, that's why.
Now, this one's difficult to predict because Spurs' form is not good. Manchester United are in disarray.
Yeah.
I expect Manchester United to have some fight in them. Their players are too good. Ronaldo, at some point, he's got to click. He's got to go get some goals. I'm going to say the Red Devils, Manchester United, 2-1.
We have the same score in mind. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. Yeah.
Oh, and that's the end of Ollie, isn't it? If they lose that one, it's done, isn't it? Because they'll lose to City.
Yeah. I don't know.
They said he's got 3 games to prove himself.
That's a bit unreasonable because they've got like 5 of their worst games coming up. They've got 6. But yeah, I don't think they're going to win.
Conte's on speed dial.
He's ready. Or Zidane.
And Norwich Leeds. What do you think about that? Challen.
If Rafinha is fit, then I'm keeping him because it's Norwich.
Yeah.
If he's not fit, then I don't know. It could go either way. Like I'm not sure if Leeds have the depth to. Actually, no, I'll take that back. Leeds do have the depth to beat Norwich. They don't have the squad depth to beat Norwich, but the players that they have are good enough to beat Norwich. Put it that way. There we go.
So what's your score prediction?
I'm getting there. I'm sorry, I was just berating Norwich. I'm sorry. 1-0 at least.
To Norwich?
To Leeds.
This could be the game Norwich get their first win of the season. But it's not going to be. It's going to be Leeds 2-0.
It's as good a
chance. I don't
as
even care if Rafinha is injured and Norwich, the Pookie train, is in first class. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone Norwich's way. Leeds are having such a terrible time. This is the game to turn it around. And then Aston Villa versus West Ham. Challen.
I am worried about Villa defensively. I don't. Okay, depends on what they do. Playing Watkins and Ings up front hasn't been working, so I think they're going to change to a one striker up front. And if they do that, I think Villa stand a better chance. If they don't, I expect West Ham to win. So because of the unknown, I'm going to go with the draw, 1-1 or 2-all.
West Ham are flying this season. They're doing excellent, and Villa are not doing so well. So I'm going to back West Ham. I think West Ham have got this one. Antonio hopefully scores again. Villa leaky at the back. West Ham 2-0.
Fair. And then Monday Night Football, Wolves versus Everton.
I hate Monday night. Whose idea is it to have a Monday night football? Why
Random.
do they do that? Who wants to go watch football on a Monday?
Who wants to watch Everton Wolves on a Monday?
Who wants to go to Wolverhampton on a Monday?
I think Everton are going to bounce back from their drubbing by Watford, and they're going to be tighter defensively. Either way, Wolves don't score much, so it could be a draw, potential 0-0, or I think a 1-0 Everton win.
I don't see a 0-0. I also think Everton will bounce back. Yeah, I'll give it Everton 1-0 as well.
Okay, fair enough. Looking at our game week plans for this week, me up first. I have one free transfer and 0.8 in the bank, and my team is currently set up as follows: Ramsdale in goal, Cancelo, James, Trent, Diaz, Rafinha if he's fit, Foden, Salah captain, Mbomo if he's fit, Vardy if he's fit, and Antonio.
Your team is, if it's fit, a lot.
Yeah, so based on Bielsa's comments yesterday, it looks like Rafinha will be fine for the weekend, so he's staying. Mbomo, same thing. Frank said that he should be okay, so I think long term, I'm happy to keep him. And Vardy, Mbomo.
Oh, okay.
And Vardy, we don't know much yet, so that's a bit of an unknown at this stage. The ideal, if it happens that Vardy's the only one who isn't fit, then I might just roll my transfer, and then Livramento comes in for him, which will allow me to have two free transfers.
Don't you think Livramento should be in your team?
I want to play him
by now.
Looking at
it's a nice fixture.
Yeah, I want to, but looking at the rest of the team, I'm like, I can't drop any of those defenders. I can't drop Foden.
The Brentford midfielder.
Potentially. I can't drop Rafinha against Norwich.
Or keep Vardy in your team. Antonio's the lone striker. Livramento comes in your team. Bish bash bosh.
But yeah, that's the whole idea. I'd rather have Vardy the striker, but if he's not fit, then he comes in automatically.
Yeah.
But I would hate to
no
put
transfers.
Maybe. If they're all fit, I might do Armstrong to Broha, which will give me an extra $1 million in the bank. Or I could do Armstrong to Tony this week as well. Which will then, my ideal, if you ask me what I plan to do over the next few weeks, 3 transfers, probably end up taking a hit. And the idea is to, if Vardy's injured, to get rid of Vardy, get rid of Armstrong, and get rid of Brownhill, and get Broha, Tony, and in midfield I'll get Son. So then I'll have a midfield of Rafinha, Son, Foden, Salah, and Mbomo, with Antonio and Tony up front, and that back four.
It sounds wonderful.
It does.
That midfield would be just beautiful.
It all hinges on Vardy's fitness, though.
Yeah.
What about your team? You have $1 million in the bank. Read it out to us.
In goal is Sanchez playing Liverpool. Bad times for me. Trent in defence. The Chelsea player's name I never say correctly in defence. Livramento in defence. Saka. Yeah, that's the guy. Saka, Jota, Salah, and Townsend. And then up front is Saint Maximum against Chelsea, which is he is on the chopping block. Ronaldo and Antonio.
And on your bench, you have Marcel, Alan, and Williams.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Williams, yeah.
What are your initial thoughts? What stands out? You've mentioned Saint Maximin.
Yes, the ones Saka and Saint Maximin are the two. I feel Townsend is okay. Wolves is a good fixture. Antonio is a good fixture. Ronaldo, I think Tottenham's okay. It's just those. Saka he's been disappointment in he scored one game week, maybe 2 weeks ago or something. But overall, he's been a bit of a disappointment. I have money to move him on. And Saint Maximum as well. I feel like, would I prefer to just get Hwang in for cheaper and have that extra money to improve my midfield?
You're not tempted by Tony for Saint Maximin? Brentford's fixture turning.
I know they have good fixtures. I just don't expect much from Tony, to be honest. The Premier League seems to be a bit difficult for him.
Okay. Wilson?
I
know that's a sideways.
Wilson in midfield?
No. I mean,
yeah, it's very sideways.
Callum Wilson from Saint Maximin. It's the same team, just the informed striker.
Yeah. But they're playing Chelsea.
True.
It just seems a wasted
You're still
move.
not tempted by Ronaldo out?
Yeah. I am, but Tottenham, what a perfect game, man. Tottenham are terrible.
The thing is, though, like this is the major issue that I think I mentioned when you first bought him is every week there is not going to be an ideal time to get rid of Ronaldo.
The week after is because he's playing Man City.
You've held, okay, that's the only time, but you've held him through arguably 5 difficult games, and you're going to get rid of him now for the next one. As
I said, he scored a goal against Liverpool, but the offside gods were against him.
You'd be selling him then when they end up sacking the coach, most likely.
If I was to go away from Ronaldo, I don't know. I wouldn't go to Son Heung-min in midfield this week.
Why?
I'm not sure who I'd go for. I just don't expect Tottenham this week against Manchester United to do well. If I was to back Ronaldo or Son Heung-min this week, I'd say Ronaldo.
But it is 1 week, though. Going forward,
it's just 1 week.
You'd be buying the player who everyone's going to buy in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and you could get. The move that I was going to mention earlier was Ronaldo, and you can choose Saka or Townsend out to Son and pick a striker, anyone, because you'll have the money. So you could get Gabriel Jesus if you want to, or you could get could you get Aubameyang? I would be interested in that. Wow, Ronaldo and Saka to Son and Aubameyang. Imagine that. That's a nice.
Let's check if I can do it right now. Ronaldo to Aubameyang.
I think you'd be out.
Saka to who? No.
Son.
I'm 9.8, 0.4 million off.
You could, even better. Think about it this way: Ronaldo and Saka to Aubameyang and Foden.
Foden is the boy, isn't he?
And then you'd have.
If I did that, I'd have 1.7 in the bank.
Is that not tempting?
Is it tempting?
And then you'd have 1.7
or I get rid of
use on a Chelsea. I mean, on a City defender next week.
Or I go to Hwang and Foden, and I keep Ronaldo. And then the following week, I downgrade Ronaldo.
Okay, that's an option too.
I don't know. Possibly it depends.
You have
Aubameyang is
yeah.
but we've spoken about Arsenal have some tough fixes coming up as well.
I mean, okay,
Leicester's quite hard, man.
if Vardy's injured, you could make Aubameyang Vardy instead. Maybe.
Yeah, could do that too. I think the biggest player in the next few weeks is going to be it will be Son. Son Heung-min's going to need to come into a team, or Kane, whichever way you want to go.
You have a very easy way to get to them, though. Thankfully, you have like a Ronaldo cash cow. For me at the moment,
Yeah.
I have to use 3 transfers to get there, so I have to plan a little bit further in advance.
Hmm.
So I could end up taking my City, one of the 2 defenders out, and use that extra money as well. But we'll see.
Yeah, I can get to Son on a whim. Like even if I keep Ronaldo against Tottenham and he doesn't score, I can take him out. Like, okay, you're done. And potentially I roll the free transfer this week because apart from Saint Maximin playing Chelsea, my team doesn't need major surgery.
It doesn't. I think if you could afford Foden in one move, that would be my move this week.
Oh,
But
I could if it means taking out Jota, but it's a move I would consider.
yeah, true. Okay, that's true. I would consider that very heavily, actually.
Yeah, so if I want to go Jota to Foden, it's quite easy. Yeah, Jota to Foden is very easy. And then if I was to do that, I'd probably. Problem is that my defense is so weak as well.
You'd have to. I think you. Yeah, that's why I think you need to.
Hmm.
The first plan's better because you'd be using the money to get either Wang or someone else up front. You get
Yeah,
Saka out for Foden or whoever, and then you have a
yeah,
bit of money in the bank to get a better defender going forward for Marcel, your Wolves defender,
yeah,
or Williams.
yeah. Marcel and Williams are they're just sitting there waiting to be smashed out my team.
But yeah, lots of things to consider. I will not be helpful. I've been helpful now.
Yeah, now this is the most been. There's
And
no Friday night kickoff though, so that's nice.
yeah, that is nice. But yeah, team news, listen to that on Friday, and then yeah, we can
Yeah,
chat about it. I won't give you specific. I won't tell you what to do. Decide for yourself.
feed me, daddy. Feed me the information.
Speaking of feeding information, you can follow us on our social media platforms at FanChallenged on Twitter and Instagram, FantasyChallenged on YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasting content. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, literally wherever you'll find us there. Um, have a good game week. We've managed to hit our usual time mark as always, despite having not much to talk about. But yeah, we've done it again. Well done. Good luck for the game week, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye, Leighton.
Goodbye, Challen.
Thank you. Goodbye.